Today I'm going to be unboxing the Ursa Mini 4.6K. Now, this is a lot of boxes to go through, but thankfully I do have experience using this camera multiple times via lens rental, so I have rented it quite a bit. This isn't a personal purchase, this is actually a company purchase, but it was about time. We were renting the camera so frequently and so often, spending money on a rental, that at a certain point you just say it's worth it to take the plunge and buy it. Yes, I am a fan of renting, to kind of try before you buy and rent what you need, the right tool for the job, but we're just using the Ursa Mini so frequently that it kind of made sense to go about and buy one. So let's start opening this up. First, we've got the main box, and you do have to buy all of these separate, unfortunately. So it would have been nice if Blackmagic had put it all, in one kit, one thing ready to go, but then, they would be making less money or whatever. So you've got to buy it piece by piece. This is the main body. So we've got the camera here, which is nice and wrapped. And get this open. Now, this the Ursa Mini 4.6K is an EF mount camera, so if you have Canon glass, you're good to go and you're golden. Any lens with an EF mount will work, and it does have electronic control, so that is always good, even though it's not a Canon camera. It has the Canon mount. You can also get it in PL mount, but if you've got a lot of cinema glass, I guess that makes sense, but a lot of the glass that we typically use is Canon glass. Now, if I can find the actual open here. And it is good to know that it does come with a copy of DaVinci Resolve if you are into color grading, which if you're going to be shooting raw with this camera, you probably want to explore. I can't find the opening. There we go. So this pops open here, and inside we've got a nice little welcome card. Welcome to your new camera system. Lovely. Here we've got DaVinci Resolve, the software and manual here. And here is the dongle for DaVinci Resolve 12.5 Studio. Very nice. That's not the main reason to buy this camera. Don't buy the camera just to get DaVinci, but it is nice that it comes along. We've got this foam top piece here, which will pop out. And overall, it is, I wouldn't say it's light. The Ursa Mini isn't super mini. It's not miniature. It is good size, definitely compared to DSLRs and mirrorless cameras. It's a good size, but mini, I guess, by cinema standards. And that is it. Everything I just took out is everything that was in the box. So we're done with this for now. And here we have the camera body. Now you might be asking yourself, if you've watched any of my other videos, like, why the Ursa Mini? Well, I've shot with the Sony FS5, I've shot with the Sony FS7, shot with the JVC LS300, a huge fan of the GH4, also shot with the 5D Mark IV, shot with the Red Epic. I've shot with a lot of different cameras over the years, and I just found that I kept gravitating towards the Ursa Mini. It has its problems for sure. There's things, like no built-in ND filters that I'm not a huge fan of, and there could be some improvements to the buttons and control, but just overall, this camera has so much functionality at such an affordable price. And yes, you can get a lot of different accessories to make it more and more expensive, but you can also keep the costs down. I mean, theoretically, you could just buy this, and this is a $5,000 package right here. You could just buy this, and yes, you won't have batteries. You'll need to buy, some media. You'll have to have a lens, obviously. But you could shoot with this, theoretically. Now, that's not the case. We've got some other boxes to open up. We've got the shoulder rig, which I really like. It's a lot more easy, I think, to shoot from that position on my shoulder rather than kind of down like this. But, people have different preferences. People like top handles and that stuff, but that also comes with the shoulder rig kit. And then you've also got the Viewfinder, which you don't get standard. It only has the LCD. So this flips out, but I love the LCD on here. It's nice and big. It's a good size. It's a good clarity, and just the resolution is good. It looks sharp. The new menu redesign that Blackmagic has incorporated via firmware, fantastic. I love the menu on here. It's actually like a fun menu to use, believe it or not. And it's got, the right ports, more professional, than a GH4, even though GH4 definitely gets the job done. I mean, most of the time you can use a GH4, but when you need that extra dynamic range, the extra resolution, the extra frame rates, You just can't do that with the GH4. So there are situations, and we found ourselves in those situations more and more frequently, where we needed the higher spec camera. And it's so great what Blackmagic has been able to incorporate in this camera at such an affordable price. Yes, there's other things out there that are similarly priced with similar specs, but having used a good variety of all of them, I do think the Ursa Mini is my personal favorite. Doesn't mean there's not problems. Doesn't mean I, would say that everyone needs to buy one. Definitely make the decision for yourself and see if it makes sense for you and the type of projects you work on. But for me and what we were doing as a company, Ursa Mini made a lot of sense. So we've got the power supply, we've got the camera, the side handle, which comes attached. There is a little grip that you can put on the side handle, for extra safety and security. And we've got the a little remote connector for the side handle to the camera, because believe it or not, it's not an electronic connection. You have to connect it with a little cable side handle to the body. It's just the way it is. It allows you to reposition the handle down if you're on the shoulder rig version. So we'll set this kind of over here for now, and let's open box number 2, which will be the Viewfinder, because that's the one I happen to pick up off the floor. Not in any particular order, just taking what I can get. I'm using the tried and true pen method for opening the plastic. A lot of people like to use their teeth. That's a good option. If you got some good fingernails, you can get in there as well. A knife is probably a better way to go. Keys often work as well, but I really like the good old pen method. Just get that in there under the plastic, slide it right through, and get the plastic off. Let's see, let's throw this out of the way for now. And another box that I have to figure out how to open. Thankfully, it's designed similarly. If I can get in there. There we go. And another welcome card. Here we go. Again, what do we have in here? We've got, DaVinci Resolve, software and manual. I guess that comes with everything. That's on an SD card. Another very similarly designed case. I like the consistency, a very simple construction. And here we have the Viewfinder. And we have the little screw connector that allows this to mount to the top of the Ursa Mini there. And that is it for that box there. Set that to the side. Now, this Viewfinder, if you're looking at the camera for $5,000 and you're looking at the Viewfinder, it's another $1,500. That seems like a significant investment. And it is, unfortunately. It is an expensive Viewfinder, but this Viewfinder is really, really nice. We didn't have another Viewfinder option. We've got some external monitor recorders. We've got the Blackmagic Video Assist 4Ks, but we didn't have a good Viewfinder solution. Now, you could get an external monitor and have kind of an eyepiece loop set up to make your own Viewfinder, but I just found that the ease of use with the official Ursa Mini Viewfinder and just the quality of this Viewfinder I really, really like. I recently shot with the Red Epic, and even that, I was using the Bomb EVF, and it was just, I think actually I need another piece before I do this. Yeah, I need the top handle to do this properly, but this screws in right there. Once I get that all figured out. I've only had it pre-assembled from lens rentals in the past, so I've got to actually figure out how to do this for myself this time. But back to my point was that shooting with the Red Epic, the Viewfinder, the Bomb EVF, I think there's a newer version, but I just wasn't, I did not enjoy it. It was a rental, and I ended up hardly even using the EVF, and it was an additional cost, and I thought I'd need it, and I probably did because we were filming outside, but it was so hard to use and just not a good quality. I was fighting with it the whole time, and I haven't had that problem with the Ursa Mini Viewfinder. I've actually really enjoyed using it both indoors, outdoors. When it's in the shoulder rig configuration, it's really easy. Now, speaking of the shoulder rig, there's the shoulder rig kit, and this pops open a little bit different than the other boxes. It's got kind of a more traditional flap, and we don't have the welcome card in this one. Interesting. So we've got a kind of how to assemble card, and we've got top piece of foam, Here is the top handle. We've got the arm extension for moving the grip down a little bit, and we've got the actual shoulder rig, which mounts underneath the Ursa Mini under here, right like that. Now, I would imagine there is some hardware in here to make that all happen, and it looks like my assumption is correct. We've got a box right here that looks to have all of that stuff in it. So we've got a screw, mounting screw, we've got some other mounting screws, more screws, and an extension wire for that side handle, that remote, so you can have it a little bit further away from the camera body. And we've got the top, this is what I was looking for. This is the top mount to allow the Ursa Mini viewfinder to slide right in there. It should slide right in there. I'll figure it out. Anyway, basically this slides up here and you screw it on, so it's actually pretty easy to get it on and off once it's all assembled and built out. And then the shoulder rig kit kind of just stays on there, which is a nice way. You can strip it down if you're trying to put it on a gimbal or something like that. You want to put it on a drone if you wanted to, and you want to keep the weight down. You can take all the pieces off, but once they're on there, I kind of like having them on there, so it's always ready to go in the right configuration for me. Now, this is all the, official Blackmagic stuff. There are other manufacturers that make similar shoulder rig kits, and there's other viewfinders out there, obviously. So you can kind of mix and match. I really liked the total package that you get here, which is how it's all seamless and built together, and the price points for each of these things. It wasn't like there's other companies offering things at significantly discounted rates for the same quality. So I believe Wooden Camera has a shoulder rig kit that's priced similarly to the Blackmagic one. So there's some other options out there. If you want to explore them, you certainly can, but it's all right around the same price point. So no matter what, expect about spending the same amount regardless of what you go with. It's just if some system has a particular feature that you prefer or you like a little bit more, you could obviously go with that. But I like the way Blackmagic has designed this system to be kind of universal. It's almost like the camera, you would want all this to come standard, but I understand why they split it apart so that people can get just the camera if they're really trying to save money and keep costs down. This is right at that realm where for an individual to own this, you could own it and rent yourself out, rent the gear out as part of your package if you're a shooter. And you could do that if there's demand for this particular camera, or you're working with people who don't really care what camera you have and they just want high quality. So that would definitely be an option. But oftentimes people who are hiring don't always know what camera system they want, and they sometimes gravitate towards, oh, well, we only shoot, we want the red. We want a red camera. Do you have a red camera? And you have to say, no, but it's about the same. It's good quality. No, well, it's not a red, so will pass. Or they want an Alexa, or they want something that's more broadcast ENG style, like the FS7 made by Sony. So there's some kind of limitations you put on yourself as being an owner operator if you're buying a camera system like that for yourself. So I definitely do tend to gravitate towards the cheaper cameras for personal use, especially if you don't have a guaranteed source of income from projects that you're working on. If you are in a good market where there's a lot of business and there's a lot of work and you know the cameras that people are looking for, by all means, buy something if you can make the right business sense. But don't think that you're going to invest money in a camera system and all of a sudden the jobs are just going to miraculously appear. It certainly could happen, but don't count on it. This is right at that price range where as an individual, you could totally own this a lot easier than you could a RED system or some of the high-end Canon EOS cinema systems. But it is an investment, so keep that in mind. Make sure you have a method for paying off the purchase price. Otherwise, if you need a camera like this for a particular project, just rent it. If you need a RED for a project, just rent it. It feels like you're throwing money away and just wasting money, but you're really not. You're actually saving money if you can't afford to buy something and then be able to pay it off through work, because you definitely don't want to go into debt and then have to sell all your stuff and quit your job and go get a job somewhere else. We all want to keep working, right? So however you can do that, make smart business decisions with your purchase decisions. I'm going to work on putting this all together, so hopefully I'll have something assembled. I'm not going to make you suffer and wait through me figuring all that out. I've got, you know, this is a nice little one sheet card, so hopefully it's not too difficult, but you never know. I'll probably put something on backwards or upside down the first time through. Won't make you suffer through that. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, I have shot with the Ursa. I'm not putting any test footage in this video, so sorry. I probably should have said that before. So if you made it to this point expecting some test footage, I don't have that here. I do have other videos where I've reviewed the Ursa Mini 4.6K. You can check those out on my YouTube channel, and I'll definitely be making more videos about the Ursa Mini now that I've got kind of full-time hands-on with it, and, you know, comparing it to some other cameras a little bit better than I have in the past. You know, anytime you're renting a camera, the time you have for the project is the priority, and any other time I have to make YouTube videos is great and it's welcome, but it's never the priority. Now I can maybe spend a little bit more time making some of that content, hopefully sharing some of my problems I run into, issues I have, comparison to the GH4, maybe the GH5 when that comes out. So it'll be kind of fun to see how this all goes and all breaks down. But right now I've got some work to do putting this all together. Again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below and I'm happy to answer them for you. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they give you any tools to actually put this all together. So all these screws that they give you, they don't give you an Allen wrench or any tools to actually put it all together. I guess they assume that you have that already on your own. And thankfully I do, but it would be nice to have an Allen wrench in here.